Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Growing Clip Bonsai for Seniors. Today is, if I can find everything, it's a mess. Today is April 30th of 2025. It's Wednesday. It's 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 13 degrees Celsius with a slight drizzle of rain in the air. It's supposed to rain later tonight some more. Today we're working on Old Dan. Like the old song says, Old Dan and I face the barren waste without the taste of water, cool water. Sons of the Pioneers, if you remember. That's why I named him Old Dan. He's a native. He's a he's my northern Catalpa. He's native to northern Illinois. The last time I worked on him was on 8/24 and 8/25 of 2023. It was like a two-parter. But today we're going to do a repot. We're going to cut off the dead limb right here. Now, if you can bring it closer. Here's the dead limb right there that was broken during the winter time. So I'm just going to cut it about here. There's a little nub here, so maybe we can get another branch coming out this way. Towards the back. So let's see what happens with that. Let's see if we can do that. But the rest look pretty good. We're just going to cut this one off right to here. You know, nothing cuts wood like ironwood. There we go. Just like that. Just get these little pieces off. And then we're going to, the main focus today is on repotting it. So, Tom, what did you do with all that lipstick? Well, my sister got me a whole bunch of lipstick, and then she found at a garage sale a 2-for-1 lipstick. I don't know which kind it is. I don't know if it's the LA colors or not, but it's good stuff. And this one's more like a brownish color, so will it match the trunk a little bit? I don't know. Almost like it blends right in there. Look at that. Look at that right there. There we go. Add a little more to here. And you can see how it holds up through the winter. And then digging it out, I scraped a lot of it off. So let's see what our roots look like. Let's get cracking here, because I don't want to waste too much on the video. Today it's around 3:24 p.m. in the afternoon. It's been a lot cloudy all day. That's why I'm doing it now, because in the evening I'm not going to have a chance to do it. So let's get her out. There we go. And you can see the nice roots on it. So let's pull the camera down so you can see what I am doing. And right now we're going to take the screen off, and I'm not going to... Let's see if I can get the screen out of here. Yep, we got it. And I'm not going to reuse the screen again, because I'm going to use what am I calling? What am I saying, Tom? Get your brain going here. We're going to use our unmilled sphagnum moss. I'm going to get Matt's root hook here. And we're just going to take away the soil on it. It's nice and wet from the rain. I'm just going to do it and then put it back outside so the rain can give it some nice natural water. Although I got Mr. Elephant with a bunch of, I got the aquarium water under which you add to the water before you add it to the fish. It's a dechlorinator, and it takes out the chlorides and chloramides, chlorine and chloramides in it. And you can see the nice roots. So nothing's really starting to grow yet, but I think we can fit it back in the pot. We're just going to keep taking away on here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but let's see if I can do it left-handed so you can see. And we're just taking some of this out. Now, it's been slow growing last year. I don't know why, but I'm going to try the unmilled sphagnum moss on the bottom to get these roots growing, and I'm going to also put the mikus into the roots. And we're going to use Ted's Mix. thought I used Ted's Mixed on this one, but apparently not. I think it was my own mix, although I did on that day do it, so I might have repotted it again. I have no idea. My records went a little kablooey on this, on old Dan here. And we did it in the summertime. That's why I named him Old Dan, from the Sons of the Pioneers. I don't know if you youngsters remember it out there, but that's the way it was back in the day with the Sons of the Pioneers. Okay, let's get Dan in there. I got some of the roots fell off. And we're going to take and put this in the old potting bucket. There we go. Let's still work on Dan. Let's get this root system. Let's see how it is. Now this tree was from my niece. I have 3 of them. I think I gave 2 away. This is the only one that I have left. Because I know some of the people tried it, and I don't think they watered. I got them back, they were dead. So, you know, you got to water your trees. If you're going on vacation, have somebody water them for you. So Matt, your root rake is doing good. This is Matt from Bobcat Bonsai. And he makes good tools, and I like this because it's got a wooden handle. I don't like the steel ones because it's cold on your hands, especially in the wintertime. In the summertime, I just don't like the feel of steel on my hands for some reason. And maybe the arthritis, who knows. But I'm doing pretty good today. So we're just getting all this out. We're getting all the roots there. And I got a little tub there. We'll just try to wash them a little bit more. There we go. Let's get the pot on the side. Let's put old Dan in there. And we got some of them roots there. I got my gallon of water here, so I think we'll just do that instead of wasting all the water out of Mr. Elephant. There we go. And this I'll just put in the back in the yard. I think getting the roots separated, getting it all cleared out is going to be a job and a half. Now we cut the taproot out, so we got a pretty good bunch of roots here. As old Dan is just breaking dormancy. And I just have one crossover root in there. Let's see if I can get it out some more. Get the chopstick in them little holes there. If we can get them, we'll get them. If we can't, we can't. But the roots are pretty compact right here. There we go. We're just getting it out, getting it out. No, I don't have fast forward on my computer. Old Mr. Clock saying, Tom, it's 3:45 p.m. Let's get the show on the road here. Let's get cracking there, kiddo. Let's get a move on. Okay. Now that we got to loosen up pretty much. Let's give it a little wash, a little more. Yeah, go to Matt from Bobcat Bonsai site, and he'll tell you how to order a root rake, and tell him whether you want it just steel or wood. And I find wood the best. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But you can see the roots in here. We're just gonna, let's get our, for cutting our roots right here, we're gonna cut these off. We're gonna go into here and see what other roots. We got a root coming straight down, so we're gonna cut that. Throw that in there. Now, we got a kookadookoo root. See how it's coming straight out this way? We're gonna take that one out. I'm gonna use our smaller ironwood tool, and we're just gonna go in there and snip that one out. Just like that. Maybe we can see the roots flare a little more. I don't know. Now the roots are pretty much of a hodgepodge here. But this one's crossing over. I don't know if you can see it. It's crossing over. So we're just going to take that one out. I don't know. Crisscrossing roots. Take that one out. Just throw this in here. Other than that, there's another root growing. This root is growing over the top of this little root here, so I'm just going to cut that right there. Let's see if we can pry that one out. And these roots I think are going pretty good. We just got to develop a root in the back. And we got a worm. Ha! We got the worm. That's all right. We'll leave them in there. They'll loosen up the soil for us. Mr. Worm, he must have came out of the worm castings when I put it in here before. I don't have any more. But let's see what's on the bottom here. We got this thick root. I don't know where it's going to, but I think it's pretty good. It's just coming this way, so we can leave that one alone. There's nothing else coming down, but you can see how it looks. And that's pretty much into the coming out of the trunk right here. That's the main root. But I got a root coming straight down here. I'll just take that one little piece off. And I think we got it. I'm not going to do any more on here because I should have got it earlier, but she woke up a little bit early on me. So that's all right. It was in the microclimate. So let's put this down. And we'll put her over here because you see no roots are developing out this way. So let's see if we can get this out a little more. So what I'll do is I'll take my little brush, take some of this wet soil out of the pot, and we'll put Mr. Old Dan over here. We'll try to get it into the center of the pot more. These I got, it's just brass. There was steel, brass, and I don't know what the other one was. But I got that at Harbor Freight. Let me rinse this out. But that's, you can see how it looks. As for getting out the pots, scraping out the pots pretty good. So, we're going to take our unmilled sphagnum moss, and we're going to throw it in the bottom. We want these roots to take off. Now, later on, I'm going to get some more sphagnum moss, and we're going to do the brine batch elder potting. I get a nice little tree that I can find, and let's get this all wet. Now this will get soaked up more once it starts to rain. It's supposed to rain tonight and tomorrow, with some drizzle today on and off. Well, it just started. And then it stopped. But you can see how we get the moss. And I think with the moss it's better than the screen because we could take the moss and cut it if the roots get too entangled in there. And all you do is push it flat. Push it down. Push it down. Just push it down. It'll drain. It'll drain. Don't worry about it. All this stuff in here is good for drainage, especially on Old Ann here. Now we're going to take our Ted's mix and open it up. And then, Tom, you old big dummy, Tom, what'd you do with the measuring cups? Oh, my cups, here they are. My cup runneth over. But there I put them where I wouldn't lose them, and I thought I almost lost them. So we're going to take a little Ted's mix. We're going to put it in here. Just put it over the bottom. And I think this is better than screen on those sphagnum moss. So I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to tilt Old Dan on the side. So the roots are just showing. You can see that thick root there, but it's coming out of the trunk there. It's coming this way. So we'll see what happens later, see how it develops. But I don't think we should cut it off. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, we got it. We got to get this one out of there because it's growing all crazy in there. That's a good thing I did it. There we go. It's all tangled. Tangled and mangled. But I think I can cut it all the way down to here. And you know, nothing cuts wood like ironwood. It took it out real good. And we're going to take this other root out here. That big thick root was bothering me. So it's got some hair, fine hair roots, so it'll probably start growing out that way. So I think get some of that out of the way. All these downward facing roots, we got that. Because we want it to start coming out like this. Get a nice root flare. There we go. So let's get Old Dan in there. Now we gotta wipe our hands. I've used my pants, but I don't want the kitties to get the wrong idea. But that's why God made pants. So, we're going to get our meat goose today, and we're going to use that. The azus I'm going to use for rooting and for starting seeds, and I'll show you how I do that later. So let's get some of our meat goose out. And we'll just put it on the roots. Just like that. Now this is mycorrhiza, beneficial bacteria. They work symbiotically together. I'll get this in the middle more. Yep, and in this pot it came out this way. So let's get it down in. Just like that. And we'll try to move it over a little more. But if we do that, yeah, I think we can do that. Right there. And we got this one root, thick root coming out too much there, so we're going to grab that off over there. Now this one, I see another one circling around, so I'm just going to get rid of this one. Because it was circling around. So we'll get that and throw that in there. And let's go from there. Let's see what happens. Well, I have to wipe my hands in the pants because I got to get some more beneficial bacteria on there from the Mikos. I got this from Extreme Gardens, and this is, according to my research, it takes an endobacteria, mycorrhiza, not an ecto. Some trees take an ecto, some take an endo. So these work symbiotically with the roots. And the tree, what it does is, let me get my soil bucket up here. what it does is the tree feeds the mycorrhiza what it needs. Say steak and eggs, for example. It's feeding the mycorrhiza steak and eggs, and you know the root's sometimes like a sweet tooth, so it'll give it back some nice cakes and cookies and stuff like that there. Something like that. That's how it works. But what it does is the beneficial bacteria, the mycorrhiza. Now what's locked into the soil is phosphorus. And I know people use a lot of phosphorus to get their plants to grow and to bloom. But we're getting low on phosphorus, and what this mycorrhiza does is it unlocks the phosphorus in the soil, and it grabs it and feeds it back to the tree, which the tree needs. And the same thing, I mean, that's what it does, and it also gives the tree its nitrogen and everything else. So let's put this in there. I got it a little higher because it's best to plant a little higher than too low, because then it's like drowning. So I just want to get these roots growing. We can always cut them later on. But right now I should have did it when it was a little bit asleep, but I couldn't get into it. But right now I'm going to have to put it, next time when I put it to bed in the fall, I'll give it a better spot so we can work on it better in the spring, Lord willing, for me. So don't forget to fire that chopstick into those roots, because we really discombobulated them roots real good. I mean, we really worked on them. Now, if I had more time, I'd have taken them more apart, but I really don't. I haven't been able to catch up on videos. If I missed any of your videos, I apologize, but with all the work I have to do, it's really difficult. Sometimes I run around like a nut. Are you going to say, Tom, you going to put any moss in this one because it's outside? And I think I will. And why'd you leave the worm in there? You can loosen up the soil a little more. Let them live. And all this poop will give us some good fertilizer for the tree. Right, Dan, right. Here's my little one. Don't be afraid to use your fingers in there. Get everything in. And I'm just going to take the surface tension out. You really don't have to on Ted's mix, but I had it kind of dry. So all I want to do is give it a little good squirt. And then we're going to take Mr. Elephant. Mr. Elephant says hello to all the kitties out there. We're going to water them in real good. Then we're going to push that soil in some more. Going to leave these roots flaring out. I know Nigel would have fun working on these roots, but with the arthritis and everything, I can do just about what I can do today. You got to do what you can do, and that's about it. But this should work. There. She's in there nice and solid. Or he's in there nice and solid, old man. I'm going to make him a new marker. And Mr. Clock says, Tom, it's 3 o'clock. Let's get cracking here. Let's get the show on the road. So I'm just going to get my fingers and push in the soil more. Right there, I'm going to need a little bit more soil. Just like that. There we go. Get it in. And with the rain and everything, it should work out real nice. And this is not a crossing root. It's not a crossing root. There we go. I like catalpas. I always did as a kid. I used to use the seed pods as, oh, back then we didn't have all the fancy stuff. So we used to take the seed pods, and then when it rained and the sewers weren't draining all the way, or what, if they were draining but slow, we used to take the pods and make little boats out of them, cut them in half, and let the boats just float down, float down to the sewer, and take it back and do it again. Well, we used to have boat races that way. But kids don't do that anymore. They're into games and they don't know what it is to have fun anymore. Okay, so let's just wipe the top off. Put that in there. Now, we're going to get a little bit of our organic potting mix. Our seed starter mix, and we're just going to throw a little bit on top. Just to give it that little flair. Because this way here, I'll put some moss on there. It should be good after the rain. There we go. Now this Catalpa's got to be over 5 years old. Because my niece got it and it was big. You know, it was thick. So it's got to be over 5 years old. There we go. Wrap that up. And of course I lost a rubber band, so I'll have to find that. So let's put that there. I'll put the cover on our mix. So we got to get this out so I don't lose them. And then we'll give it a little squirt again, and then I got from the Lion King. Well, I got that from one of my grandchildren because they got the Happy Meal at McDonald's, so I guess that was in there. Or was it a toy? I forget what it was from. But it's the mascot for Old Dan. If I can find a horse, I'll get a horse for him again. So we'll put this here. Like that. Or maybe like this. Just get it in. Get the soil on it. And there we have it. There's Dan. Oh, it ain't gonna work. Let me get Mr. Elephant to water it in a little more because we got to get the water coming out. And we don't have to worry about anything else because it's gonna rain. Now let's see if it'll go over here. Maybe now we might have to get something else. And we'll have to get another mascot for him. But for now I can get a little rock. And put it right here. I guess not, Tom. Tom, you're not cooking today. I don't know, something's rotten in the old Windy City. So let's get this little rock here. And hopefully that'll do the trick. Just for now, just a little decoration. So today's Wednesday, it's potluck day. Yes, it's Wednesday, not Thursday, not Tuesday. Because, you know, I get everything discombobulated sometimes, especially when I'm working all day. I've been up at 4:30 in the morning, so I get up early. Now that the sun is climbing high in the sky and getting ready to give us a nice, glorious day and a nice rainy day. So there we go. We'll add some moss to him. Old Dan. Sorry, Dan. And we'll go from there. And maybe we can put this on another tree. We'll find out. So you take care, everybody. Have a good day. Video's too long. Sorry about that. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. Cup of tea and whatever you want to do today. Old time radio. What else is there? Old time TV shows like George Burns and Gracie Allen or Jack Benny or whatever you want to watch today. Today is potluck day, or if you just want to sit down and read a book and have a cup of tea. And I promised Dave from Dave's Bonsai, I'm going to have a cup of tea tonight, Dave, on you, because I just seen your video at, what the heck was it? 0F and a minus 17 C out where you at in Minnesota in January. So you take care, everybody, and listen to Dave's blog, Bonsai Acres. I think you'll like it. Take care. Have a good day. And old Dan, I got to make you another marker. Take care, everybody.